Good morning.
Good morning. We are here. It seems like it's just you and I so far. We're ready to rock and roll. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is what we call Cruising with the Case Handler. We're about to speak about a lot today. Want to say once again, I know it's been a little bit, at least a week or so or more. Still want to say Happy New Year to everybody. Want to say Happy New Year to you, Alexandra. How are you? I think you're muted. And as we wait for PPID attorneys to jump on, just want to remind each and everyone, once again, this show is all about immigration. It's about personal injury. It's brought to you by the law firm Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. It's a law firm that is actually based in New York City at 225 Broadway. And of course, with offices in Peekskill and also Brooklyn. It's where I get on the radio and I speak with key attorneys, experienced attorneys that have experience, obviously, in personal injury and immigration. Their phone number happens to be 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Can you hear me, Alexandra? You're on mute. There we go. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
You can't?
I can't hear you. Oh, hold on one second.
Yeah, I think it's on your side.
That's me.
Yeah. There we go. It's all right. I was trying to say Happy New Year, all the good
Oh,
stuff.
Happy New Year's, Queen. I'm sorry. We were just talking about what was happening, and I needed a moment to calm down. And I just assumed, I'm on mute, but I wasn't. Sorry about that. Happy New Year.
Everything is okay on that side?
Okay.
Okay, all right, no problem.
Some
All right.
major PTSD here, but
Yeah, I guess we all are going through it somehow, but what are we going to do? We just have to keep doing what we do best, and that is forging ahead and helping as many people as we can in our capacity. So
yeah, I agree.
I
agree.
Once again, welcome to the show. You need no introduction, but for the folks who are actually tuning in, I am speaking with Alexandra Bondakoff. We call her the boss lady at Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. And today we're going to be speaking about a few things. However, if you do have immigration questions, now is the time to actually, place those questions actually in the comment section on Facebook or in the WhatsApp group. So one of the things that I wanted to touch on today, Alexandra, is e-visas. I've been traveling and a few people have been asking about e-visas, and I understand that you are very versed in that area right there. So I just wanted to actually speak with you a little bit about e-visas. First thing first, what are e-visas? How do they work? What are the requirements? And is it something that you can handle?
Sure. So e-visas are visas for people who want to come to the United States and invest into a business, either start up their own business from the ground up, or maybe they want to buy a franchise, or even enter into a joint venture. In order for somebody to get an E2 visa, they have to come from a country that has a bilateral treaty of commerce with the United States. Jamaica does. Not too many countries in the Caribbean do, though. Suriname has, Trinidad and Tobago, and Grenada, the ones that are come to mind. But basically what it is you need to create a business. It has to be an active investment. It cannot be something that, for example, you buy stocks on the market or even buy a house. That would probably not qualify as a business activity that would justify an E2 visa. But if you're coming here and you buy an inn up in Vermont and run it as a bed and breakfast, that would qualify. The E2 visas, people generally apply at the consulates, although it's not impossible to get an approval here in the United States through USCIS. But consular officers have very large discretion over E2s in particular. A person would need to convince a consular officer that it's an active investment, that it's not marginal, meaning that you're not starting this business solely so that you can get a visa and come to the United States, or your kids can study in university or something here in the United States. So you have to prove that the business has the potential to generate some income in the next 5 years. And we do that by creating a very extensive business plan. People often ask how much money I should be investing. And the answer generally is it really depends. It depends on the industry and depends on the business. For example, if you are starting a consulting business, all you need is probably a computer and internet connection. You don't even need a physical office space in the beginning. But if you are opening a restaurant, then obviously you're going to need a physical premise, you're going to need a lease, you're going to need a liquor license. So the investment is going to be a lot larger than what it would be for a consulting business, for example. I often say, while there is no rule of thumb, if you are investing less than $100,000, there will be questions, although it's not impossible. You know, for the right business, it may work. E2s we use a lot as an alternative to other categories. I think your listeners have heard us talking on the show a lot about how the business side of immigration has been affected by this administration's, the outgoing administration's policies, but the E2 was a very good alternative to some of those work visas.
Does this visa allow one to actually bring their spouse or their children?
Oh, yes. Yes. They can come here as a derivatives. And the spouse actually can obtain work authorization and work as well.
Is it a path to a green card? It's
not. That is not. Something else needs to happen. As a matter of fact, the E2 is a strictly non-immigrant intent visa. Any applicant is required to sign a statement when they apply for the visa that they fully intend to come back to their country of origin. In certain circumstances, rarely, but it's possible, people can convert the E2 visa into the EB5 investor visa. Although I've seen this happen less often now that the minimum amounts for the investment have been increased to almost $1 million. But the other pathway would be if they find an employer who's willing to sponsor them for a job through another organization.
But the E2, so there is an expiration on the E2, or is it just indefinite?
So the E2, depending on which country you're coming from, the E-visa itself, the actual visa can be anywhere from 5 years for countries in Europe to 3 months for Bangladesh. But when the holder comes to the United States, they always get admitted for 2 years at a time. All right. So if somebody has a 5-year visa, every time they travel back and forth, they get a 2-year admission period. So potentially they can be here for 7 years before the need to renew the visa. For somebody from Bangladesh, obviously it's going to be a different situation. But you get an E2 in the United States for 2 years at a time, and it's renewable.
It's renewable, right? Once again, folks, if you're just joining us, welcome to Cruising with a Case Handler. I'm speaking with the attorneys. The attorney I'm speaking with right now is Alexandra Boss Lady Bondikoff, an attorney at the firm Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. Nelson Madrid, aka, as we nickname him, the Maverick, has joined us also, one of the partners at the firm, and we're speaking about e-visas, okay? And I've gotten an extensive education on e-visas. If there are people out there actually that's watching us or listening to this and know that there are individuals who would like to actually, get this visa, considering what it is that was just explained, do give the firm a call, 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. This is where you get your immigration questions answered on air for free or via WhatsApp or via Facebook. So that's when you can get the questions answered for free. We do, however, suggest that you actually hire the attorneys at Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico to actually get your case sorted out. So we implore you, reach out to them, 844-774-3529. That's 844-PPIDLAW. That's 844-774-3529. Nelson, welcome to the panel, man. How are you doing today, and how was your weekend?
Good morning. I am doing good. Weekend was good, and happy to be back in the office and get some work done. I've got a lot of stuff going on. Again, I wasn't in the office for a few days, so I got some catching up to do. But happy to be back and looking forward to a productive week.
I'm glad you're back, man. Hopefully we can return to some normalcy prior to you leaving, if you know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
All right. Once again, folks, we're here with the immigration attorneys this morning. It is Monday, January the 11th. Make no mistake, if you are out of status, it's very, very important that you reach out to the attorneys and find out what it is that they can do for you. Get a consultation with them, schedule one with them. The number is 844-PPID-LAW. Let's get to the first immigration question up. Thank you so much, Alexandra Bondakov, our boss lady at PPID and attorney, for expanding and expounding on the e-visa, which is something that we'll reiterate from time to time. Let's go to the first question. It says, my wife and my children are Jamaicans, but my wife, who is a green card holder, submitted an application for me and our son to get our green card 2.5 years ago. Our son has gotten his green card, but because I was studying in Jamaica, I had not yet gone to the United States Embassy. My wife is thinking of returning to Jamaica. Are we able to cancel or retract my green card application, or does it expire after a certain duration? Is it best for her to surrender her green card if she returns for an extended amount of time? What can she do?
Okay, if your wife is going to be out, well, actually, anytime a green card holder knows they plan to be outside of the United States for an extended period of time, they should file for what's called a re-entry permit. A re-entry permit has to be filed while still in the United States. And basically, it's letting immigration know I plan to be outside of the US for an extended period of time. Nevertheless, I have every intention on returning to the United States. If you don't file for a re-entry permit and you're outside of the United States for an extended period of time, immigration can make a finding that you have abandoned your green card and not allow you to return to the United States. So if she knows she plans to be outside for an extended period of time, she should file a re-entry permit or file for a re-entry permit before departing the United States.
It sounded like they wanted to turn it in and just live in Jamaica from what I'm...
Well, I mean, you don't technically, if you just go move to Jamaica, ultimately it'll just cancel itself. Like it'll just, again, if you're outside for an extended period of time, you're not going to be able to return. You don't necessarily have to there's no requirement that you have to go and cancel it. Just leave if that's what you want to do. If you want to abandon green card, then just go home and stay there.
Yep. And you could also get yourself a visitor's visa. It would be a lot easier to get it then, right? Seeing that you're turning in a green card.
Well, that may be a problem, right? Now that may be a problem because it goes to immigrant intent. And if you previously had a green card, how do they know you're coming to visit and not planning to stay and remain in the United States? So, this is where it gets gray. It's not necessarily black and white. As I've said before, anytime someone is seeking to enter the United States, the analogy that's often given is that you're knocking at the door, right? You're going to have some good CBP officers and you're going to have some bad CBP officers, right? Some people may actually let you in. Other people may say no. Even if you get a visa, right? Even applying for a visa is not something guaranteed, right? Applying for a visitor visa after having a green card, it's at the discretion of that officer who's actually interviewing you. And again, he could say yes or he could say no. He could say no, believing that, this person is trying to get back into the United States because they gave up their green card and now they're trying to get back. Right. And they're trying to use this as a way to circumvent the system, right? As a way around not having a green card. Or you could have someone that says, oh yeah, sure. They plan to come back. They gave up their green card. So it's a roll of the dice. But even if you get the visa, there's another layer, right? When you're entering the United States, that CBP officer can make a finding and say, no, I disagree with the person that issued the visa, literally rip up your visa and turn you away.
Right. Okay, so it's not as simple as we made it.
That's right.
Yeah, okay, thanks a lot for expanding on that. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, We're right here doing what's called cruising with a case handler. It did really look like we're cruising this morning. All right.
Mhm.
And I want to say welcome to another of our attorneys that has joined us, one of the partners, and his name is Adam Handler, the case handler, which we have named the show off of. It seems like he's in his car trying to get
Yeah,
gadgets together.
a little bit of an early start this morning, so you caught me off guard. But this is how we started the show, man. Remember this?
Yes.
Like I was driving to work every day, and that's why we were calling it cruising with the case handler. So good morning, everybody. Thanks for having me on today, Squeeze. Sorry, I was late to the party.
Yeah, sorry about that, man. It's my change in plans, but here we are. And Alexandra earlier on the immigration side did an excellent job in expanding on the e-visa. All right, and of course Nelson just answered a question on someone who wanted to pretty much go live with their family in Jamaica, so they were actually turning their green card. But welcome to the show, Adam, and tell the folks what you do.
Yeah, well, I do a lot of things. I'm a family man. I'm a good friend. I'm a loyal partner. But most notably for the purposes of this show, I am the partner in charge of the personal injury department here at Pollack, Isaac DeSico. I've been doing personal injury for 17 years now. Over 15 of those years exclusively or almost exclusively for the Caribbean community. You and I have been doing radio together since 2005, and it's been a great ride. We had a great last year, all things considered. You know, I was saying to somebody the other day that I was in court, you know, at least, 3-4 times a week, right? I haven't been to court since the beginning of March, which is just unbelievable to think about. But notwithstanding the fact that the courts are still physically closed for major operations such as jury trials and meaningful hearings like that. Last year, Squeeze, we talked about it, we did over $20 million of settlements for our clients, over $20 million for case handler clients last year. And so a number that I'm really, really proud of for many reasons, because not only are we changing lives, but you know, we're working hard and we're fighting through all the challenges that this pandemic has brought to the practice of law and the representation of the clients. So the fact that we can still deliver for these individuals that had so many choices of a lawyer, but decided to go with your boy, the case handler, and we can now, follow through for them and be successful for them. It is a wonderful, wonderful feeling.
Appreciate that. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Adam Handler was just joined us. He's actually in his mobile, hence cruising with a case handler. That's how it got started. He's a personal injury. Let me rephrase that. He's the most celebrated personal injury attorney on this radio station within the Caribbean community and has settled well over $125 million for his clients and climbing. So if you ever get hurt in an accident, you need to reach out to Adam Handler. His number is 844-774-3529. It's the same number, 844-774-3529. Whether it's a construction accident, medical malpractice, slip and fall, automobile accident, you need to get the maximum compensation, like I always say. And Adam always says, God forbid, and you hope you never get into an accident. It's going to happen, either to you, a friend, a family, a foe. It's going to happen. You want to make sure that you have the right attorney, and the right attorney is Adam Handler. Once again, his number is 844-774-3529. It's the beginning of the year. Things are unfolding. Things are opening up. Make sure you have that number. Share it with someone. It's also the number of a full-service law firm. Got to switch.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to kick it over real quick though to Nelson and Alex, and that, what challenges do you think you've been facing representing clients during this pandemic? The fact that is 26 Federal Plaza, are those hearings still happening in person, or is everything virtual right now?
No, actually, the hearings at I believe it's 290 Broadway and at 26 Federal Plaza have been postponed through January 22nd. So basically, no hearings in removal cases, that is, have been going forward. Everything is being rescheduled to sometime later in the year. Interviews are still happening. USCIS interviews are still happening. In fact, I was in Vermont on Thursday at a naturalization interview with a client. So those interviews with immigration are going forward. Court hearings on non-detained cases at 290 Broadway and at 26 Federal Plaza are being postponed and rescheduled.
Right. Huh. So everything's just dragged out and delayed. But, I'm sure we're still able to do some wonderful things, notwithstanding the fact that things are delayed, correct? I mean,
Absolutely.
last year, I've heard some wonderful stories of things that the immigration department's done.
Right. I mean, immigration is not closed by any stretch of the imagination. Even though cases are being postponed, we still have to gather evidence, prepare that evidence to file in court. We've been filing evidence. People are still eligible to petition for a spouse. People are still eligible to apply for citizenship. Again, immigration is up and running. So that has not stopped. Again, the only thing that's really stopped is appearing in person at non-detained cases at 26 Federal Plaza and 290 Broadway. Otherwise, everything has been going forward. Everything is up and running. And we've actually been able to do some great things.
Awesome.
Wonderful. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Cruising with a Case Handler, 9 minutes before the hour. Adam Handler is your personal injury attorney. Alexandra Bondakov, Nelson Madrid, your immigration attorneys at the firm PPID. Great question, Adam. Once again, the number is 844-774-3529, 844-774-3529. Let's get another question in before the top of the hour. And this one says, I just recently found my brother who lives in the United States. I am 34 years old and he is 50. We have never met because my dad kept me hidden from him until I used social media to locate my father and found out that I have a brother. My brother sent me an invitation letter, which I took to the US Embassy. They never even asked me for it, but turned me down for the visa. What I would like to know is, can siblings file for their siblings and how long would it take? Thank you in advance for your advice. Alexandra?
So it seems to me that this particular caller applied for a tourist visa. Based on his brother's invitation. I'm not surprised that the consular officers denied it. For B2 or tourist visas, they're looking at ties to the country. They want to make sure that this is going to be a short visit, after which he will return home. Generally speaking, younger people in their prime tend to get denied. Single people tend to get denied more often than others. So I'm not surprised about the B2 denial, and I'm not really sure whether it makes sense to apply again unless his circumstances change. He has a job that's going to give him a letter saying that he has a month of, paid leave, and they're going to keep the job for him. He has property at home, all these things. But to answer the second part of the question, he's asking whether a sibling can, I assume that's what the question is, a petition for his brother for a green card. The answer is yes, they can. However, they're going to have to prove the existence of the qualifying relationship, right? And if these two people have never met in life, or spend a big part of their life not knowing of each other, that's going to be difficult to prove. One way to do it, I guess the only way to do it, is if they go for a DNA test. So generally speaking, yes, it is possible. It takes over 15 years at this point.
Wow.
For the visa to become current. But in theory, yes.
What DNA tests do the government accept? I remember back in the day, I did a lot of family court work in addition to the personal injury. And once in a while, a father was contesting his paternity, or the mother was trying to prove paternity, and they would do these in-home kits that they'd swab the child and swab themselves. But the courts held those to be inadmissible. The only DNA tests were the tests that the courts had administered themselves. They would send them to a specific lab. Now, this could have been a money-making scheme, but they really wanted to, ensure the reliability of it. So what DNA is there? Does immigration have a similar issue like that they only accept certain forms of DNA testing?
That's exactly correct. And also they have a list of companies that are cleared to perform such type of DNA testing. Also, with the immigration context, there's another practical implication, right? Many times the people that need to be tested are abroad. So basically the DNA testing company has to send a kit to the consulate. The person has to show up at the consulate and have their swab taken. But yes, to answer your question, it works very similarly. There's several authorized companies that can perform those tests, and they actually send the results straight to USCIS.
Wow.
Interesting.
And David, just to add to that, one of the primary reasons people's visitor visas are denied is when they can't show ties, right, or they can't show income, or they can't show assets, in their country, right? So for example, you're 25, 27, 30 years old. You don't have a job, you don't own a home, you don't have money in the bank. Good luck getting that visitor visa. Yeah, right? Because there's no reason why you would have to go back home.
Right.
Now, when you own a business, you have money in the bank, you own land, you own, cars, and you can show that you have a lot of ties to your country, then that increases your chances of getting that visa, because obviously you can't just leave all of these things behind, right? You have to go back because you have this business to tend to. You've got money back home, you've got multiple cars, you own a house. Right, family, children, a spouse. So these are things that immigration looks at. I think we've said this before on the show. If a visitor visa is denied, you should wait at least 6 months before reapplying. Now, even if you reapply, there's still this hurdle you have to overcome, right? So as Alex said, if nothing's changed, chances are you're going to get the same or similar result.
Right. I mean, they're not obligated. It's actually up to the discretion of the immigration officer based on the circumstances that's been provided, as Alexandra noted earlier, hence the ties. All right. Once again, folks, the number is 844-774-3529. I'm going to ask the beast, the shark, the case handler, all right, to close us out with 2 minutes to go. All right. He's actually sitting in his car doing the show. That's how committed this attorney is, this personal injury attorney that I've settled well over $125 million. But I wanted to say thanks to Alexandra. Thanks to you, Nelson. But I'll let Adam take us out by, probably hopefully mentioning a case that he's probably working on, or one that he has worked on recently.
Yeah, no, we're business as usual. Last Friday, I had depositions remote, just in a similar fashion as this, over Zoom. Rear end accident, major damage to the vehicle. The whole back end was crushed in. The driver had multiple fractured ribs. The passenger had a knee injury that required surgery. So, these are the big cases that we routinely work on, and these are the cases that we routinely get successful results on. We can never guarantee a successful outcome, but I've said it. I've been using the word exceptional lately, and I'm really proud of that word, because that's the kind of work we do. Exceptional legal work, and we are exceptional attorneys. We can't say we're the best, so I'll use the word exceptional, and I'm proud of that badge. And this show, it's out there, ladies and gentlemen, for us to inform you as to the changes in immigration law. It's to inform you as to what we can do for you. It's to inform you about those big settlements I get. But I think in many ways, it's a prolonged interview process. You listen to this show hopefully regularly on 93.5 FM or Facebook or Instagram. And if you could do so, check out the case handler on IG and Facebook, or PPID on IG and Facebook. And I think you're really going to get a sense as to who we are as individuals and who we are as professionals. And we can only ask that if you ever need legal help, you'd pick up that phone and at least give us the opportunity to prove to you that we are the right choice, to prove to you that PPID is going to work for you. I'm down with PPID. Nelson's down with PPID. Alexandra is down with PPID. Squeeze, I didn't ask you today. You down with PPID?
Come on, you know me. I'm down with PPID. And I want to say thanks to everyone for tuning in. Please Dial the number, let it ring, store it, use it in the future. 844-PPID-LAW. That's 844-774-3529. 844-774-3529. Have yourself an amazing day.
It's 9 o'clock.
Here we go. Thank you all so much once again. Take care. And remember, if you'd like to find out more about the e-visa, you can actually share this to someone else or start it from the beginning, watch it from the beginning. It's going to be on all the Facebook pages. Thanks to all the attorneys for being here. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Nelson. Thank you, Adam. And we'll definitely talk later.